If you believed that the story of Jay-Z and Beyonce was over, think again. 50 Cent has just revealed some shocking insights that are completely writing the story. Jay-Z has been the target of unrelenting criticism from fans who call him a manipulator who coerces Beyonce into dubious circumstances. However, 50 Cent is coming to reveal the truth, implying that we are misinformed. He claims that Beyonce is maybe even more dirty than Jay-Z. The remarks made by 50 Cent are causing a stir. Fans are in disbelief since he presented evidence that backs up his assertions. Among the most startling claims he made was that Diddy's crazy antics were allegedly assisted by Beyonce. Furthermore, 50 seems to be trying to make Jay-Z shoulder the blame for their turmoil. When things become problematic, it seems like a typical instance of throwing someone under the bus. The stakes are higher than ever since there are rumors that Beyonce may consider getting a divorce. Rumor has it that she's been thinking about splitting up with Jay-Z, mostly because she's annoyed by what she feels are his controlling actions. Jay has built up a reputation for dubious business practices and behind-the-scenes dramas over the years, so it's far from perfect. This has given rise to further conjecture on their marital status and the underlying dynamics. Fans have always sided with Beyonce as the one with the most innocence in this relationship, supporting her as a representation of grace and strength. But that perception is further complicated by 50 Cent's disclosures. He's upending fans' preconceived notions of this power couple by implying that Beyonce is not just culpable, but potentially even more devious than Jay-Z. These accusations may have serious repercussions. The story takes a very different turn if Beyonce is really attempting to separate herself from Jay-Z while positioning him for failure. It calls into doubt their relationship's complexity, devotion, and level of trust. Celebrity couples are often idolized by fans, but in light of this new revelation, many may be inclined to reevaluate their opinions of the Carters. Furthermore, 50 Cent's allegations have ramifications that go beyond mere rumors. They address more significant issues of interpersonal responsibility, particularly in the competitive Hollywood industry. Speaking candidly about a relationship is one thing, but when celebrities like Jay-Z and Beyonce are involved, the conversation becomes more complex. In Jay-Z's world of purported deceit, Beyonce is often portrayed as the victim. Nevertheless, there is a storyline that questions this assumption, suggesting that she may be trying to deflect responsibility from herself. Fans are left to question how much of 50 Cent's statements are true as this story develops. Will Beyonce respond to these accusations, or will she keep quiet about them? There is an obvious sense of tension around this relationship, and it seems like every new piece of information sparks more rumors and interest. This drama is reaching new heights in the arena of celebrity relationships, where public image may change with the least wind. Should Beyonce consider a breakup with Jay-Z, it would be a huge change in both their personal lives and pop culture. They've been seen as the ultimate power couple for years, but after 50 Cent made some harsh remarks, many are reevaluating that perception. It's evident that there is still more to be discovered about Jay-Z and Beyonce as we continue to monitor the situation. With 50 Cent stoking the flames, observers and fans alike are prepared to analyze every nuance. It's still unclear whether this will result in a public reckoning or just continue to be conjecture. Whatever the case, one thing is for sure: we're all here for the ride, as the drama involving the Carters is about to get even worse. So take a seat, you won't want to miss this Hollywood drama. Another of his victims, particularly considering her nearly flawless image and the fact that she was so young when they first started dating. In an interview, Beyonce discussed this, stating that she was 18 when they first met and that there was no rush for her to run off and get married. That is a very noticeable age gap, but it gets worse because in a 2007 Charlie Rose interview, Jay-Z claimed to have met Bey 10 years prior, or in 1997 if they had first gotten together. Met in 1997, and Beyonce may have been as young as 15, depending on when they actually got together. Because of all of this, people tend to view Beyonce as the victim, frequently excluding her from conversations when Jay-Z is criticized for his alleged inappropriate behavior, even in cases where the couple is under fire for allegedly blackballing other artists in the industry. The focus usually shifts to Jay-Z and his alleged inappropriate behavior, abuse of authority, while Beyonce is able to avoid the spotlight due to her status as the media's darling. 50 Cent is here to change that. He is prepared to reveal some insider information, and let's just say that his opinions of his opinionated aren't particularly flattering. When blogger Storm Monroe first broke the news of the divorce a few months ago, everyone applauded Beyonce for standing her ground and divorcing Jay-Z. However, after 50 Cent made some remarks, seems like we may have been mistaken from the start.
But what I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they living separate. And part of the reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim slash story, I don't know. I might have to answer some. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out and Jay-Z is exposed for his nefarious past, you're gonna see Beyonce. Okay, and she may or may not do an interview, but their publicist is gonna release something. She's gonna say, oh, the Carters have been separated for some time, they built this beautiful life.
The prospect of Beyonce leaving Jay-Z has fans giddy with anticipation, particularly after Storm alluded to Jay's impending public exposure. Not only are we discussing significant disclosures, maybe comparable in magnitude to Diddy's recent scandals, but we're also not talking about the typical celebrity rumors. It's crazy since Storm isn't even the first to make this type of tea leak. Jay-Z was allegedly the next person to come under fire after Diddy's shocking accusation, so it's possible that he will soon be under investigation. The bombshell lawsuit Cassie filed against Diddy, which brought to light some really unsettling habits, serves as the setting for this developing drama. Following that disclosure, Jaguar intervened to fan the flames, claiming that Jay-Z had avoided such scrutiny mostly because of his wisdom and care. She contends that Jay-Z has been playing a long game, methodically separating himself from those who may undermine him and then letting them pay for their acts, whereas Diddy has been acting recklessly. For years, he's been putting together a group of friends who are now dealing with personal issues, giving the impression that he's been sitting pretty here. The adage birds of a feather flock together, since there are a lot of stories circulating in the streets that Jay-Z is just as shady as Diddy. Fans are understandably relieved that Beyonce is considering a divorce. Given the long number of accusations leveled against Diddy, many have been eager to draw connections between the present controversy involving Diddy and Jay-Z's previous behavior, not to mention their relationship's age difference, which has often received criticism. There is a big age gap between Beyonce and Jay-Z, and a lot of fans think that this dynamic contributes to their marital power struggles. The tension is exacerbated by Jay-Z's past infidelity. Even though the controversial story of Becky with the good hair has dominated conversations, it's important to understand that Jay-Z allegedly started cheating on his partner not too long after they started dating. Singer Charlie was among the first names to come up in relation to his infidelity, indicating that this is a long-standing trend rather than a new problem. It seems sense that fans are worried about what a divorce with Beyonce may entail, particularly if additional information about Jay-Z's history becomes out. A perfect storm of adultery, exposure potential, and constant monitoring may force Beyonce to ultimately make a decision. Many people saw Beyonce splitting from Jay-Z as a sign of strength and a reclaiming of her story after years of deceit and abuse. These recent events have caused a significant change in the discourse around their marriage. Once thought to be an invincible power combination, fissures are starting to appear. People are reassessing how they see Jay-Z, putting him under a new light that might include his possible involvement in the same dubious activities that have dogged Diddy. The story's progression is intriguing. Jay-Z's public persona, which was formerly seen as that of a loving spouse and father, is now coming under closer scrutiny. His previous transgressions are starting to catch up with him, and the risk of being made public is significant. Fans are curious to see how Beyonce will handle these rough seas in light of everything. Will she support her guy through this difficult time, or will she use the chance to end their troubled relationship? The stakes in this tale are obviously quite high as we see it develop. Beyonce and Jay-Z may be splitting up, which would be a huge change for both of their personal lives and for the way the public views celebrity relationships in general. There is still a lot of turmoil around this pair, and new information keeps becoming available. There's no doubt that everyone will be eagerly following Beyonce's decision, whether she decides to fight for her marriage or end it. We're excited to see how this story unfolds. Baltimore, for those who may not be up to speed, if you've been following this issue, you've definitely heard the whispers of their affair taking place right under Beyonce's nose. In the past, Charlie Baltimore dated the renowned Notorious Big, also known as Biggie Smalls. She reportedly chose to break things up with Jay-Z after becoming bored of being the sidekick while he flaunted his romance with Beyonce. However, Jay-Z didn't take it well at all and became envious when Charlie moved on to another lady. A man so envious that he threatened to go to jail recalls the time he was arrested for assaulting a man at a club. The man was distributing bootleg copies of Jay's album Volume 3, Life and Times of S. Carter, according to a producer. Jay pulled an 8-inch knife and went after the man. But insiders, including 50 Cent, are questioning the veracity of that entire narrative. According to 50 Cent, the true cause of the incident was that Jay-Z became upset, much as when he was angry with a prior side partner upon learning that Charlie was seeing the producer. Petty and 50 Cent aren't alone in this rapper. Cameron supported him and said that Charlie was the reason behind the stabbing. It wasn't about money or morality. Rather, it was about a chick. What we don't do is we don't with a homie expo. "You feel me, you know who that is now," said the bow. Speaking of 50 Cent, Charlie Vore is returning to the spotlight to discuss the divorce issue in general. Let's simply put, he's saying that Beyonce is the true villain that everyone believes in, not that he's riding for her. For those who may not be aware, Beyonce became embroiled in the long-running feud between 50 Cent and Jay-Z when she stood up for her boyfriend. Let me now briefly explain the history of how this meet first came to be. Jay-Z and 50 had a falling out back on the day when 50 Disc Jay-Z released his 1999 smash song How to Rob, with many constantly speculating that he did it to gain influence. To be fair, Jay-Z wasn't the only target in 50 Cent's How to Rob. He went in on a whole lineup of top artists, including Lil Kim Foxy Brown. This was especially true since Jay was already a major player in the game, while 50 was still on the rise. Diddy Missy Elliott in his CD About Jay 50. Will Smith and many other people from that period rapped what Jigga had just sold, saying, "Jigga got something to live for. He doesn't want a man putting four through." That coupe d'or Bentley Jay-Z is known for harboring resentments, which is why the beef between him and 50 has lasted for so long. Eventually, Jay-Z responded with his own diss track, It's Hot Some Like It Hot, in which he famously said, "Go against your dents. I'm about $1, what the F is 50 cents. Many of the artists who were called out did the same. Eventually, 50 Cent acknowledged that his disdain for Jay-Z and the other rappers was motivated by a desire for influence. In an interview with Rolling Stone, 50 Cent revealed that when he, in response, I said that I was complimented, and that he wouldn't say anything back to someone he didn't think was hot. I never went on radio until after he said that about me, and I don't know if that's where my career would be if he didn't respond." Moving on to the beef with Jay-Z, 50 Cent acknowledged that the reason he had a problem with Jay-Z was because Jay-Z felt like the greatest in another interview, saying that he had a king complex and believed he was effing Jesus, said once that I didn't like those little, subconscious things since, in my opinion, that's how punks do actions. 50 was not going to let this narrative go unanswered, so he quickly came out and denied that he and Jay-Z were on favorable terms. He also claimed that they will never be friends, saying, "We don't have those kinds of relationships. These people are people I associate with. We are in the same business. We are not necessarily friends. We don't call each other." Jay-Z made an attempt to refute the beef rumors, other for no reason at all, as it turned out. Even though she and Jay-Z had not yet dated when 50 Cent's beef with him began, Beyonce continued to support him. Things got so messy that 50 Cent eventually admitted she had attempted to fight him, saying things like, "Wait, what's that you doing? That's Stu. That's me. And Jay-Z Stu has nothing to do with you." Of course, 50 Cent, being 50 Cent, could not resist making fun of the situation. Jules wasn't there, so if I had been there, I would have had to reconsider Beyonce's desire to fight 50 Cent over Jay-Z. It's not a nice story, but it does explain why 50 is one of the few people who recognizes Beyonce for the person she really is, and why he feels she's not the victim that everyone perceives her to be. In addition to his belief that she is not a victim, 50 asserts that she may even be more malicious than Jay-Z, claiming that she is the mastermind behind many of the charges made against him. He also recalls an incident in which her former bodyguard discussed how Jay-Z and her were allegedly undermining Carrie Hilson's career.
And Jay-Z ended up catching all the smoke for that, and for some reason, Beyonce was left out of the conversation. The bodyguard also claimed that Beyonce and Jay-Z's marriage was nothing but a business merger.
Your relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires. There's no love there. See, what's done in the dark will definitely come in the light. Keep your threats up.
The bodyguard also stated that Beyonce and Jay-Z's marriage was nothing more than a business merger, and that your relationship was a commercial one. For whatever reason, Jay-Z ended up taking the brunt of the criticism for it, and Beyonce was left out of the discourse. This portion isn't very unexpected, because you've surely heard all those tales about how Jay-Z became a millionaire. However, there is no love there, and what's done to the dog will undoubtedly come to light. And Beyonce's relationship is more about business than love. But 50 Cent says there's more going on because he says Beyonce has been manipulative for a long time. He brought up the case of Beyonce's former drummer, Kimberly Thompson, who accused her of dubious behavior. The drummer was then mysteriously silenced when she attempted to expose Beyonce and show what she's really like behind the scenes. Beyonce is said to experiment with occultism. When she talked with the Daily Beast, the interviewer said that she believes the Lemonade celebrity killed her cat and that, for unknown reasons, Ba has launched a campaign of harassment against her that involves severe witchcraft, black magic, and magic spells. Thompson is certain that Bae Kimberly is to blame for everything, even though she went live on Instagram to discuss Beyonce's time when she was managing her funds and listening to her phone. It's unclear why Thompson thinks the singer is doing all of this to her. People initially believed the former drummer was just trying to get attention and use Beyonce for clout, so her claims didn't receive much attention. However, once she went as far as filing a restraining order against Beyonce, that's when people started to notice and question whether there was any truth to her allegations. 50 Cent is undoubtedly one of those people who uses very wicked tactics to keep me down and control my relationships. If you're paying attention, hold on, there's more drama ahead. As I mentioned earlier, Jay-Z has been unfaithful to Beyonce for years, and while she seems to be able to put up with it, 50 Cent claims that she has been actively involved in the situation behind the scenes. Recall how Jay-Z previously discussed how he and Beyonce were able to resolve their differences following his infidelity and purportedly restored their marriage. In Us, we decided to fight for our love for our family in order to provide our children with this kind of support. 50 Cent is also saying that family therapy wasn't the only reason Jay-Z and Beyonce were able to work things out, to break that cycle. For black men and women, to see a different outcome, like you were saying, it's not this celebrity C. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities that's good, like real people. He says that Beyonce is purportedly using another strategy at play to target Jay-Z's side projects, and it is intriguing that 50 Cent is bringing this up now, especially in light of recent reports that Beyonce may have contributed to the demise of Tiara Marie's career. According to the reports, Beyonce learned that T was allegedly involved with Jay-Z behind the scenes, and she was not amused. Everyone knew that Jay-Z seemed to have a soft spot for Tara, but at the time we just assumed it was because of her undeniable talent as an artist. The Rock is a princess, but rumors have it that she was having extramarital affairs with a few other guys in addition to Jay-Z, which was kind of weird since, at the time of all this, according to this blind item, she wasn't exactly legal. After learning of the affair, Beyonce allegedly intended to destroy Tara's career and the blind person. Jay-Z reportedly tried to get rid of Tara, but Beyonce insisted on getting rid of her as well. We had a showcase, and there were 2 artists performing. Her name is Tiara Marie, and she's a really sweet girl. The truth is, after the showcase, I was paying a little more attention to her than I was to Rihanna. Beyonce just gave me that insight. This item is quite fascinating, especially since the music executive who managed both Tiara and Rihanna once revealed that Beyonce influenced him to pay more attention to Rihanna rather than Tiara. I did a Rihanna double according to 50 Cent, who claims Jay-Z isn't entirely off the hook regarding the allegations against him. He claims Jay has allegedly been involved in some seriously shady stuff that's set to be revealed, and that's allegedly the real reason Beyonce is planning to divorce him. He gave Rihanna one of those looks, and he said that Rihanna girl, she's a beast. She looked away. 50 maintains that Beyonce isn't as innocent as the public thinks, claiming that Jay-Z's open endorsement of her this year's Grammys were actually a desperate attempt to win her back and persuade her to reconsider her divorce. I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Consider that the person with the most Grammys has never won Album of the Year. And you know how the streets have been saying that Jay-Z was supposed to be claimed to have been at Diddy's freak-offs. However, 50 is now saying that Beyonce was actually there the entire time, that she directed some of the freak-offs herself, and that Diddy recorded it all. Fans commented that Beyonce was only leaving because his closet was about to be cleaned out, and that she knew what was in the closet, even though she might have had some items there. I am done with the whole mess, and one thing I love about 50 is that she is complicit in it. When he exposes someone, he speaks the truth, thus they never sue him. Consider that. Let me know your thoughts on this scenario, and then watch the next video. Yes, this is a hot mess, and 50 is being really brave by spilling this tea since, as you all know, Beyonce and Jay-Z don't like it when people talk about them.